Beer time, kids. Kids. people, some people ask me why I refer to like I'll walk up to a group of friends or even a group of like fellow employees and I'll be like, "Hey, kids," and everyone's like, "Kids? We're this, we're that," talking their age and all that stuff. And I don't think they understand that when I say kids, I do it from the standpoint of like a children's television show host. It's like I don't care if you're really children or not. I'm referring to you as kids, just like as a group kind of thing. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Walk around like identifying everyone's age and hello, group of random aged people? No. So, and I don't want to come across as hoity-toity, gentlemen, ladies. No, I'm going for let's be relaxed. Hey, kids, it's beer time. So, I got a beer for you guys. And this one, actually, I've had since November. I don't exactly know when it was canned. Let's see. It was canned in August of last year. So, this is Allagash Haunted House Hoppy Dark Ale. 6.6% alcohol by volume. And it's got a legend on it. But first I'm going to show you guys the can because it's a cool can. I don't know if the can glows, but it does certainly look like it's got a little bit of element of the day glow in the paint there. And I'm loving the little haunted house underneath there. The moon and the stars. And it's got a legend. So let's see what it's got to say. There we go. Cursed by our love of roasty porters, we summoned the recipe for Haunted House. Roasted barley and Black Prince malt cloak this ale in a gravely dark hue, hopped with Nugget, Cascade, and Northern Brewer. Its flavor is filled with hauntingly balanced notes of coffee, malt, and a devilish hint of hops. 12 fluid ounces. It also says down here, we're good together. Your support makes it possible for us to donate 1% of our revenue and collaboration with local nonprofits to make our community a better place. I love that. I wish it was more than 1%, but I understand that businesses need to remain profitable. Independent brewers since 1995. That's a nice run. I mean, that's 30 years of brewing. And of course, it has the standard government warning: do not hang out in the mystery machine if you're drunk and pregnant. What's that? I'll say. What? Sorry. There's a couple of more words on there that I can barely read. From Maine with love. All right, the state of Maine. Dark, hoppy, scary good. Nice. I love a brewery with a sense of humor. I do. Speaking of sense of humor, I'm going to drink this one out of my beer hole, which is open for business. My beer hole. Open for business. Thank you, Robert and Stephanie. I appreciate that Christmas gift to this day. To this very day. All right, 12-ounce can. Wish it was bigger. Just in the mood for a larger beer today. But I saw this beer and I said, it's been too long since I bought that. It needs to be shared. So let's give this thing a pour. It is a dark ale. And I'm going to pour it a little bit roughly so that I get some form of head on it. It looks like a fun beer. And I have poured it perfectly to fit in the pint glass. So, it is dark. I don't see a vague hint of light coming through it. Let's see just how opaque it is. That's pretty opaque. It appears to be clear, but just dark. So, and it's got this beautiful tan head on there that is collapsing. I've noticed that the bubbles are getting larger on the side. So, from here, it's smelling really nice. And Hoppy Dark Ale. Sort of excited by that, you know? So, let's give it a sniff in glass. See what it parses out like, so. Ooh, I can smell the hops. Well, that's crazy, Rich. It's only described as a hoppy dark ale. It's okay. I often berate myself to myself, so. I get a little bit of the roast, but mostly I'm getting the hops out of it, so. I'm not going to dip my beak in it, though, so. It's low enough now that I can take a sip without doing that, so. Let's tuck in and see what this thing's like. Ooh, wow. So, I put it in my mouth, and I immediately got hops, but not overwhelming hops. Just, I knew it was a hoppy beer. Then when I swallowed, that, like, flavor increased exponentially across my whole tongue. Now, it could be because it's just the first sip, though, so let's go in again. Because as I've explained before, a lot of very strong flavored beers, your mouth's not used to the flavor. But once it does get used to the flavor, subtler flavors come through. So, nice. Okay, so second sip was indeed less hoppy. I got a lot more of the roast when it was in my mouth, and then when I swallowed, both the roast and the hops washed from the back of my mouth to the front, across the roof, across the tongue. It was it's nice, and it lingers just a little bit. So I wouldn't exactly call it crisp and clean, but I would call it good. So, unfortunately, you guys can't see the text for the beer hole because this beer is far too dark to feature that. So, back in. This is very nice. Just like it said on the can, since they like, porters and things like that, this does come across very porter-like. It's not a stout because it's got much more of a focus on the hops. In the roast of the grains is coming out there. You get that slightly burnt flavor. Slightly. 6.6 alcohol by volume, though. They must have added quite a bit of sugar to the brew to get it up that high. Because normally, a lot of beers rely on the sugar in the malt itself. But the longer you roast, the darker you roast a malt, the less sugar there is, because the sugar is consumed. That's what actually turns dark. So, very nice beer. I'm going to answer the questions on this one. First off, it's Allagash, and they've got some very nice beers out there. Allagash White is probably the most common that you would find. As a matter of fact, on Friday when I had that show that I was at, they had Allagash White on tap, and that's what I drank, which is a good, bitter, hoppy beer. It's like a white ale, but hoppy. Very nice, very bitter end to it. Let's go through several questions. Bitterness scale. I would say this is a 4 for me. Um, if I saw this in the store, again, would I pick it up? Yes. Yes, I would. This is very, very tasty. And it's right up my alley for the kind of beers I like. Um, with the darker roast, the slightly bitter flavor from the darker roast, and of course the hops in here are really hitting very nicely. If someone handed this to me at a party, I would be extremely happy. This is a delicious beer, a delicious dark ale, delicious dark beer in general, you know. Um, and I have a tendency to gravitate more towards the dark beers than the lights beers, but the lights beers. Um, but I will say that since I started doing these videos, and you know, even before I was posting them on YouTube, I was making these videos. My beer tastes have expanded, but they always circle back to the dark beers. I'm just a big fan of the stouts and the porters and the Schwartz beers and this fabulous dark ale right here. So this is a very tasty beer. Um, and it's 6.6% alcohol by volume. It's a dangerous beer for me because if I had more than one of these, I would definitely be drinking more than one of these. Okay. If I, yeah, seriously, if I had more than one of these, I think I could drink this for the rest of the day. And yes, I am in the mood to drink beer. That's how my ADHD works. It grabs all the words in the sentences and jams them together, and then they all try to come out of my mouth at one time. So, but if I had a whole 6 pack of this, I would seriously put a dent in that entire 6 pack. That's how good this one is. So, I'm hoping I can find it again. I'm definitely gonna go look at the Allagash website and see if they have something that. This seems like it's like a Halloween themed beer, and since it was canned in August, I'm curious if they have if this is a year-long beer or just a seasonal beer. So, if it's not a seasonal beer, I'm definitely looking for more of this because this is tasty. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I would buy to drink for personal pleasure. Not just do reviews, but actually have a 6 pack of this and be like, oh, I'm going to hit one of those up because that's a tasty, tasty beer. So, all right, I've answered the questions. Yes, I would pick it up if I saw it in the store. Yes, I would be happy if it was handed to me at a party. I gave you the bitterness units of about a 4 for me. It's not sweet in any shape or form. It is definitely a beer-flavored beer. So if you are a regular beer drinker, a guy who picks up lights or picks up MGD drafts or something like that, and you wanted to expand your beer palate, this would be a great beer for you to give a try. So thank you for giving me a try, though. If you liked what I did here today, do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. Hand this off to a relative or a friend who likes beer on the same level that I do. I'm hoping that this gets bigger and bigger and we have huge conversations down in the comments section. So, thanks so much for coming in. And I will see you guys next time. I got a great beer to share. Thanks.